guys, it's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. We do have a lot of key topics to discuss. Firstly, Barcelona are considering, analyzing, and going to make a decision soon on whether or not they want to offer Lamine Yamal the number 10 shirt for next season. Crazy. We're going to talk about that, talk about how Lewandowski is confirmed in the media that he wants to stay at Barcelona. We have some big contract renewal updates on Araujo, Cubarsi, Sergi Roberto, and even Pau Prim. Puma, my god, they have now put on the table a monumental, historically huge offer for the kit supplier plus kit manufacturer for Barcelona, and now Joan Laporta has to make a big decision whether or not to sign with Puma, take their money and break the contract with Nike, or continue to negotiate and try to get Nike to some way somehow match the offer of Puma. We do have some big injury updates on Frankie de Jong and Pedri, and finally some big news in regards to Eduard Romeu resigning from his position as the vice president of the economic area of Barcelona as well. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into the video, this video is sponsored by LU Soccer. LU Soccer is one of the most versatile replica jersey websites on the market. They have a variety of different items from different clubs, from CONCACAF, Serie A, Bundesliga, Ligue 1. They have a jersey from any country, any league basically in the world, and of course they do have some Barcelona merchandise. I do have here two items they have sent me which I think is absolutely fantastic. One is this limited edition black kit. I believe this was a concept. It looks absolutely beautiful. Of course, it has the Spotify logo there, and also this one is what caught my eye the most. It is this kind of retro. It has the first ever badge for Barcelona in the middle there as well. It looks so sick, and they have different options very similar to this one for all different clubs and country. So what are you waiting for? Hit the top link in the description down below and check out LU Soccer today for the best prices and also the best quality. Let's start off with the transfer news around Barcelona. Over the past 48 hours, it's been quite quiet. We've only been linked with one player, and that is Mason Greenwood. Now, there have been a lot of reports about, Barcelona planning a 30 million euro, 40 million euro bid for Greenwood in the summer. Let's be honest, that's all absolute waffle. Also, the Times Sport have come out saying that Barcelona have cooled their interest in Mason Greenwood as they believe that signing him will provoke a backlash among the supporters. Probably, but also, we don't need Greenwood. Again, he is a player that occupies the right-hand side and the middle, and we're looking for a forward that occupies the left. If he can play on the left, there definitely could be some discussions. We don't need him. Again, on the right, you have Ferran Torres, you have Rafinha, you have Lamine Yamal, potentially maybe a Stabio one in the future. Up front, you have Lewandowski, you have Victor Roque, you have Mark Guiu. We don't need Greenwood. We don't need Greenwood. Good player, but we don't need him. So I think this whole entire Greenwood thing is going to cool down. Again, England specifically, The Athletic have been linking Barcelona a lot with Greenwood for like months and months and months now. And as soon as that meeting was, leaked and videoed of Deco and John Murta, they're having an absolute field day. I will tell you this right now for free. We are not signing Mason Greenwood this summer. Probably not next summer or the summer after that either. He is a player that does not fit our plans at the moment. So we'll park it at that unless something crazy comes down in the next few days. We'll talk about it again, but I think for now we can safely say that there's, the talk of Mason Greenwood and Barcelona is dying down. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to be staying at Barcelona over the past 48 hours. Following the topic of strikers and Mason Greenwood, of course, our current striker is RL9, Robert Lewandowski, and he was speaking to the Polish media, and he was saying that for me, it is clear I will be staying at Barcelona next season. This is the first verbal or any confirmation of the sort of Lewandowski's future. I will say this though, Lewandowski is not in a position to guarantee his continuation at Barcelona. Yes, we have the idea of the player's perspective. It's quite clear that the player wants to stay. Fair enough to him. This man's going to be on 300,000 euros a week next season. That just ain't going to cut it. He's not even proving $250,000 right now of what he's doing at Barcelona. Maybe the past few months, since the new year, he's been all right. Let's be honest, but First half of the season, non-existent. The Alaves brace, and that was it. You cannot be on 300,000 euros next season. There's got to be some sort of talks. Again, Laporta is meeting with Fini Zahavi, his agent, every other day. They're basically best mates, going out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. Laporta has to be working on a contract reconstruction. Maybe don't call it a wage cut per se, but just restructuring his deal. Maybe having all his wages based on bonuses and outputs on the pitch, and not just his fixed salary, because 300,000 euros next season is gonna absolutely kill us. But Lewandowski himself, as the player, has made it clear that he wants to stay at Barcelona next season. And again, we'll wait and see what happens in the summer. If a big offer from Saudi comes in, MLS, that maybe will help Barcelona in their pursuit to lower his salary, which I think is going to be a very, very important topic this summer. But for now, the Polish striker has confirmed his intention of staying in Catalonia next season. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, and probably the biggest one, the contract renewal of Ronald Araujo. Now, I did already talk about this topic on Goals TV, so make sure you check out that videos on the community section of the YouTube channel. But just to give you guys a quick summary, Samuel Marsden and Moises Malores of ESPN have come out with a big story saying that Barcelona are considering letting Araujo leave if they receive an offer of around 100 million euros, which of course makes sense if the player himself does not want to renew his contract. Again, I think it's going to come down a lot to the personal decision of Ronald Araujo, and he kind of made that clear on the opposite direction though, following the match against Napoli. He came out in the media and he said that my future depends on the club. Everyone knows that I'm very happy in Barcelona and very grateful to Xavi. So where you get this report of the club putting a price out there for Araujo, you then have Araujo kind of not clapping back per se, but saying that, look, depends on the club. I think he more so is saying depends on what the club offers me and shows, and it depends on what they see is my worth. That's gonna be the most important thing with Araujo. Again, I do have a little bit of connections with his entourage. It's very, very clear. The sporting project has to be on somewhat of a good trajectory. It can't just be the same old stuff. Again, he's been at Barcelona now since 2018, 2019. He's won 3 trophies in about what, 4 or 5 years. That's not the greatest. One cup in 2021, the Copa del Rey, then of course the double last season. Isn't the highest of achievements for someone who's one of the best defenders in the world, playing on paper with one of the biggest teams in the world as well. But if it comes down to just pure love and intention of the club, then he's gonna end up staying. But I still would put it at around almost at 50-50, maybe even 51% that he's gonna leave, and 49% he's gonna stay, mainly because that there hasn't been much movement. We've been talking about Araujo's renewal since November. We're now into mid-March, and we had one time where his agents flew in for a meeting, and the meeting was just kind of to put your toes in the water and just kind of get things rolling, and that was it. We've heard nothing since. So again, the renewal of Araujo is very, very important, of course, from the club's perspective, but they have now kind of put a price. They're kind of letting other clubs in the world of football know, saying, hey, been around 100 million, and we're open to selling him. You can have him, no problem. So wait and see what happens with the future of Araujo. Again, it's going to come down to when Barcelona and how Barcelona and the details of Barcelona's offer for a renewal to the Uruguayan center back, and of course the Uruguayan himself will have to make that conscious decision on the future of his career. The next contract renewal update is on the contract. I keep laughing because Roberto's renewal talks just go quiet. He just has one good game, one good cameo off the bench, and bang, 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 it's back. Renewal update on Roberto. Jordi Gil of Sport is reporting that Barcelona have offered a new contract to Sergi Roberto. Now, no one else has since confirmed this. Since this report, actually, we've heard some confirmation about the trajectory of Roberto's renewal, in the sense that the new manager will decide if he wants to keep Roberto. The club will offer him a renewal, no problem. The player will stay, no problem as well. But if the new manager does not want Roberto, he will end up leaving. Couple of things though. Apparently, this is the big story. This is why I think there's a bit of a remontada. I get it, Roberto remontada on Roberto staying. Joan Laporta wants him to stay because we are, of course, moving into a new stadium, and he wants someone who knows the club, knows the city, knows the culture to help with that transition, which makes sense. But I just want the Club de Amigos to be officially over, man. Roberto's still kind of lingering here, salvaging here, and again, he's coming off the bench performing well, which I think is his role. Again, he's on peanuts. He doesn't earn anything. He's a squad player. I get it from the club's point of view that, oh, he's not really impactful or anything like that, but just the fact that he's there still is just kind of, the big question mark. Xavi says a lot in his press conference that, look, Roberto would have a bigger role and a more prominent role if he wasn't, consistently being injured this season, which it is true. Roberto's been on and off with injuries a lot this season. He's saying that, look, if he was a bit more fit, he'd have, more minutes and be a more prominent player. He had, of course, good spell in December. This season, 2 of the worst performances I've seen have come from Sergi Roberto. First away game this season, second away game this season, Villarreal, where we won 4-3 at the Benedito Villamarin. He dropped a stinker at right back, 1 out of 10. Copa del Rey cameo when he came off the bench at this MMS, 1 out of 10 performance. Those are the 2 worst performances individually I've seen this season. So, there's factors like that have to be included in this. But we will wait and see with Roberto. Again, just because now he come off the bench, gave an assist to Lewandowski, there's going to be some talk and some hype like there always is. I'll just say tranquilo and wait. I do want to say one thing though. I think from the Roberto perspective, he wants his future decided by the end of the season because he wants to get that send-off at the Montjuic, or, a Montjuic send-off is better than nothing. I think Roberto has been a very, very, very long servant of the club, and I think he wants to have his future kind of be decided before that point. That way he can get the send-off that some would say, and I would probably say as well, he does deserve a little bit. So we'll wait and see what happens with Roberto's renewal. But again, the club are kind of in limbo at the moment with the new manager, what the players feelings are as well. But again, renewal on the table for Roberto is still a bit possible. The next contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Pau Prim. We are kind of now switching focus to the B team, cadet team, juvenile A, the other La Masia products. Of course, Roberto used to be one. I remember seeing Roberto way back in 2009 when he was a young gun. He's climbing the position of Pau Prim, and now he's a veteran and captain. And anyways, on Pau Prim, Sport have come out saying that Jorge Mendes was very interested in becoming the agent of the La Masia midfielder Pau Prim. We talked about this, I think, about a month ago on the channel, but the player has now decided to continue with his current agency that has represented him since he was a child. Pau Prim's contract ends in 2025 in June, but the club wants to renew it and the player wants to continue. Negotiations have begun and both parties hope to reach a satisfactory agreement soon. So again, Pau Prim wants to stay, the club want to keep him. Talks are ongoing and talks will continue to try and reach the agreement that's best for both parties. Of course, Pau Prim's development, game time, and Barcelona holding, a future talent within their grasp. But the big news is that Pau Prim actually rejected Jorge Mendes' offer, which is very, very interesting. Jorge Mendes, of course, trying to soup up all the Barcelona prospect players. He just got, I think, Hector Fort a few weeks ago. He's trying to get Pau Prim as well, but failed to do so with Pau Prim as he remains loyal to his current agency that has been representing him since he started his career. And fair enough to him, I guess Pau Prim showing a bit of loyalty, and hopefully he'll show Barcelona some loyalty as well. So we'll see how things go in regards to his renewal, but again, everything's on the right track and hopefully we'll reach somewhat of an agreement. And the final contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of another Pau in Barcelona, and that is Pau Cubarsi. Again, his renewal is absolutely vital for the club. His immersion in the first team has been unbelievable, and yet he still has only a 10 million euro release clause in his contract. Now, Santi Ovia has come out saying that Barcelona want to renew Cubarsi's contract and the player also wants to renew. They are finalizing the details, but he will probably most likely end up renewing. Sport have also confirmed this as well, saying that Pau Cubarsi dreams of succeeding only in Barcelona. An agreement on a new contract is expected to be happening very soon. Manchester United, Chelsea, and Arsenal are also interested. I have no doubts, absolutely zero doubts, that Cubarsi will renew his contract. But I will tell you guys this: watch out for how the club announce and portray Cubarsi's renewal, because that will be big on how the club view the player for the future. So they just say, oh, he's renewed his contract, whoop-de-doo, here's the details, that's it. Then of course it's steady progress. But if they have big graphics, big videos, dare I say even a press conference, madre mia. Keep in mind, by the way, that Barcelona, when they renewed the contract of Fermin Lopez back in, I want to say, October, the official Barcelona Twitter account, if I'm not mistaken, didn't tweet about it. I think it was the B team Twitter account that tweeted it, and then the first team or the main Twitter account then retweeted it. So I'd watch out for that as well with Cubarsi. If the official account tweets it compared to the Barca B account, those are all big implications at the end of the day. And again, how the club portrays this, we'll definitely see how, the club think of Pau Cubarsi as a player and his, prominent role in the team. Of course, his contract would be very on the similar scale of Lamine Yamal, maybe a 1 year, 2 year deal now until he turns 18, and then once he turns 18, that professional contract would be on the table officially with, of course, the €1 billion release clause. So that's the update on Pau Cubarsi. We do have a little bit more updates on Pau Cubarsi on his participation, of course, with the Spanish national team. He is expected to be called up for the Spain team in the upcoming international break. I think they have friendlies for they're playing against Brazil and Belgium, if I'm not mistaken. And Ferran Martinez from Deportivo has come out saying that Pau Cubarsi being called up for Spain for the friendlies against Colombia and Brazil, not Brazil and Belgium, is taken for granted. Dani Vivian and Igor Zubieda were initially the option to replace the injured David Garcia in the squad, but Cubarsi's rise in last week's has made them change their plans. If his growth continues, he could be part of the squad for both the Euros and the Olympic Games in the summer, similar to Pedri in 2021, of course, and Barcelona will not like this. I think Barcelona's issue is not him being called up, but his participation factor. Of course, Pedri played every single game of the Euros, won the Young Player of the Year, the Euros. He then went to the Olympics, played every single game to the final. They lost the final. They came back with silver. I don't think Cubarsi is going to be starting for Spain. If De La Fuente is really a Barca fan, he's really, smart, he might start Cubarsi, which I think will be absolutely crazy. Starting a player who's just emerged now into a big tournament that's been bigly anticipated for 2 or 3 seasons now, especially for the Spain Federation. From their perspective, starting Cubarsi would be wild. The Olympic Games, of course, I think definitely Cubarsi will have a starting role in that tournament, but we'll wait and see how that turns out. Apparently, Barcelona have already told the Spanish Federation he can only play in one of those tournaments. We don't want him going to both because they want to, of course, learn from the mistakes of Pedri, and that is, fair enough from the club. So wait and see how things turn out in that regard. But again, Pau Cubarsi's renewal on track will definitely happen at some point, but keep your eyes on his future with Spain, as it could have a big implication, of course, on his future with Barcelona. Now, staying on the topic of the Spanish national team, we do have more updates on the Spanish national team and involving, of course, Barcelona. Firstly up is Ferran Torres, with Ferran Martinez from Deportivo reporting that Barcelona have asked the RFEF to not call up Ferran Torres for Spain's friendlies against Colombia and Brazil later this month, in which they have nothing to play for. Again, the club want Ferran Torres to fully recover from his injury and fully focus on that final push for Barcelona for the end of the season. Where's Ferran Torres' stance on this? I'm not quite too sure. If I'm the player, I would want to go out for Spain, especially coming off the fresh of an injury, to get my minutes up, get my rhythm, match sharpness, all the things like that. So I'm kind of surprised a little bit that Barcelona are really against Ferran Torres going with Spain for the upcoming international break. Again, how they want to be very cautious with him and his injury. Makes sense, but if he gets the green light, which he's supposed to be getting the green light, of course, for this weekend's match against Atletico de Madrid, I wouldn't be opposed to him going for Spain. But if the club thinks this is the best decision for him, then we're going to have to back it. So wait and see how Ferran sees this, decision by Barcelona and what Spain will do. They can just not listen to Barcelona and still call up Ferran Torres. That can definitely be a possibility. But again, the relationship between Barcelona and the Spanish Federation is very healthy, and also between Xavi and Luis de la Fuente, the Spain manager, as well. So keep your eyes on this Spain squad. This is going to have some big implications on Barcelona, and one of those being involving Ferran Torres. Now, staying on the topic of injury updates, we do have 2 very important injury updates on 2 very key players for Barcelona in Frenkie de Jong and Pedri. Fernando Polo from Deportivo has come out saying that Frenkie de Jong is expected to be fit for the first leg of the Champions League quarterfinals without any issues. Pedri could play in the second leg depending on his sensations. Now, the quarterfinals, I believe, supposed to be taking place in the first week of April at some point. So again, Frenkie de Jong, month out, makes sense. Second leg will be the end of April. Again, Pedri, about a month and a half. I think, to be honest, Pedri is aiming to be fully fit for the Clásico on April 21st. If he can be back the game before that game, that'll be fantastic. I think the game before that, off the top of my head, is that like Las Palmas or Girona, or like, I think it's some mid-table team at home. So if he's back of that game, gets some minutes, 10 minutes off the bench, then maybe he can have half an hour in the Clásico. I doubt. I will tell you this for free right now. Unless Barcelona decide to fully risk his whole entire career, he's not starting the Clásico, 100%. I think Frenkie de Jong, hopefully by then, should be fully fit, ready to go to start the Clásico, which would be very important for us. But again, both injuries, timelines wise, are going at the expected rate. We'll see probably Frenkie back around the beginning of April, and then Pedri around the end. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First, we have some big news in regards to Lamine Yamal. One of them coming out about Jorge Mendes's, trajectory and his estimation of how big Lamine Yamal, from a player point of view, marketing and stuff like that, is gonna be, because Fran Martinez Mundo Deportivo is reporting that from the agency of Jorge Mendes, they have created a consultancy called the Underdogs Agency with the main objective of handling the communication and marketing affairs of Lamine Yamal. So Lamine Yamal is so big, and and Jorge Mendes thinks he's gonna be so big that he's kind of created his own area of his agency called the Underdogs Agency, where he's basically gonna be handling everything in regards to communication, marketing, sponsorship wise, and advertisements for Lamine Yamal. And that is big for Jorge Mendes to do that. Keep in mind, Jorge Mendes still has Cristiano Ronaldo as an agent, and I don't remember seeing him doing anything like this for Ronaldo, which is crazy. But this is not even the biggest news about Lamine Yamal over the past few days. It has been the report from Catalonia Radio suggesting that Lamine Yamal could wear the number 10 next season. There are discussions about this possibility, mainly of course marketing. These shirts and advertisement that Lamine Yamal will sell with the number 10 is crazy. Tranquilo, man. We cannot. This kid played 10-20 minutes last season. He's now had a very prominent role this season, I would say mainly due to injuries that we suffered at the beginning of the season. Tranquilo. We cannot be rushing into these decisions. I've seen a lot of people compare this to Ansu Fati. Oh, we gave Ansu Fati number 10 and he flopped. First of all, we had to give someone the number 10. We were walking up into the 2020-2021 season, or 21-22 season. Koeman's on a low. Laporta wanted to get rid of him in the summer. We're now coming into a new season. He had to give someone the number 10 due to La Liga's rules in terms of the numbers. We only had one number left. We had to, register Yusuf Demir as our first team player, and Oscar Mingueza had to be all this stuff. So in the end, we had to give the number 10 to someone, and that's why the club decided Ansu Fati, which at the time was 1,000,000,000% the correct decision. You cannot compare it to this one because the club here have a decision to make. Secondly, on Ansu Fati, what the hell's going on with him? Are we all of a sudden just gonna bid him off? Are we gonna downgrade him from number 10 to number 17, for example? Listen, Ansu Fati, man, I am so worried about his future. Again, Brighton, he's just not doing anything whatsoever. My Ansu Fati stocks are slowly depreciating in value, and I'm a bit worried about that. But that's a topic for the summer. Gotta take your time with it. He is 16. I don't think Messi got the number 10 till he was 20, if I'm not mistaken. I think Lamine Yamal needs one more season minimum before he's considered to be number 10. He's now, I think, number 28 or 27, something. I think he's 27. One more season. I think next season you promote to the first team. Of course, give him a first team number like a 16, 17, 18, something like that. And then after that, you can give him number 10. I think going into next season, number 10. No, thank you, especially since the club do have a choice here. So we'll wait and see how things turn out. Again, it's not, confirmed or anything like that, but there is some people thinking internally at Barcelona of giving Lamine Yamal the number 10 shirt next season. Now, the most shocking news over the past 48 hours has been the resignation of yet another board member under Laporta's second term as the president, and this time it is Eduard Romeu, who of course was the vice president of Barcelona's economic area. So in the morning, Laporta called a press conference out of nowhere. Everyone's thinking, bloody hell, Laporta calling a press conference, what the hell is going on here? Shortly after that, the club released an official statement saying that Eduard Romeu has submitted his resignation, citing incapability with fully dedicating to his professional work. President Laporta has accepted the resignation at the same time and thanking him for his work. So yet again, another board member who's trying to multitask different jobs and different, projects, and in the end had to commit to one of them and didn't choose Barcelona, chose the other project. Now, Victor Navarro from Cope also confirmed that Eduard Romeu has had a new professional project for months now, in which he has been traveling to the US on several occasions for, and he has submitted his resignation due to incompatibility, the fact that he could not, do both at the same time, which again makes perfect sense. Now, a lot of people are, the hatred I've seen on Laporta over the past 24 hours has been crazy, and I just love it because everyone's just so clueless and you don't see the reality. Everyone's like, Mateo Neymann's left, Jordi Cruyff's left, Ferran Roberto left, Ramon Planet's left, no one likes Laporta, he has zero plan. How is it Laporta's fault that board members just get, too big for their shoes, or you get, very passionate about other things and go and do other projects, and they get offered other things elsewhere. This is Barcelona, so Laporta's going to hire the best of the best, and the best of the best are always going to be on the market, and other companies and other organizations want to have those best of the best as well. Shout out to Eduard Romeu. I think he's done an absolutely unbelievable job handling the club's economic side. I think he was one of the masterminds in executing the economic levers. I remember watching the General Assemblies earlier on in the tenure of Laporta. He was the main face there as well, so shout out to him. In regards to his replacement, there have been some reports about other names being out there, but again, once it's confirmed, we will talk about it again. One of them is being this guy named Angel, who has a degree in business administration, blah blah blah. So Laporta knows him, and he can do it, and he has the CV to do a good job. It does not bother me whatsoever. But again, a lot of people thinking this is a bad thing for Laporta. I honestly don't think it is. I think, again, during Laporta's second term as president, he's now entering his past 3 years, I think a week ago or so. The only thing he's done wrong is, approve the Alonso renewal last season, which I think was an absolutely disgraceful decision. That's the only thing he's done wrong. In regards to economic levers and everything like that, everything he's done has been 1,000,000,000% spot on. I dare anyone to come on a live stream with me, Discord call, Twitter space, I don't care. I will debate you to the death, and I will win 100%. Laporta has done nothing wrong apart from that Alonso renewal. That is it. He's been pinpoint perfect, and no other human being would have put Barcelona in this current state than Joan Laporta. If I was appointed the president in 2021, if it was Victor Font, Tony Freya, if it was Joe Biden, if it was Barack Obama, Elon Musk, no one, maybe a Florentino Perez, because his connections and his knowledge is still very strong as well. But yeah, of course, he was not going to leave the Real Madrid job to come to Barcelona. Anyways, no one would have done a better job than Laporta, 100%. But anyways, Eduard Romeu has resigned. Shout out to him. Salute you. Great work you've done. And now we move on, get the next person in his position, and watch him and see him how he does his work. Now, speaking on Joan Laporta, one of his main focuses at the moment will be, of course, on deciding the kit sponsor / supplier for the foreseeable future. Again, we kind of ruled out now manufacturing our own kits. It is now a 50-50 between Nike and Puma on who Laporta will decide. Now, Luis Rojo from Marca broke the news that Puma is ready to pay a €100 million bonus immediately upon signing. Additionally, they're willing to offer around €120 million per season, a significantly higher amount compared to the Nike's $85 million fixed plus 20 in variables currently. Also, Ivan San Antonio Sport confirms as well, saying that apart from paying a fixed amount of 120 to 140 million euros, he gave an actual range there annually, making Barcelona having one of the highest paid shirt sponsors in the world. Puma's also offering a sign-on bonus of 100 million euros as well. I think right now the biggest kit deal is Real Madrid with Nike. I think they get paid around 130 million euros. So us getting 120 and between 120 and 140, we could get the biggest deal ever. Again, we're getting now into the ballpark of what we earn. By the way, if Adidas is giving Real Madrid 120 and Nike only giving us 85, my God, are we getting underpaid? That is astounding. But again, this is what I will say this: if Nike offered this fixed fee of 120 million euros, forget the sign-on bonus. If they just offer this fixed fee, Laporta will say yes. Dare I say it, I'm still on the fence that some way, somehow, we're going to end up staying with Nike. But this Puma offer is massive. It is one of, if not the biggest kit supplier deal available in the football market. No one else touches it. I think Puma also have Man City, and they're paying Man City around the same amount. I think they're paying them 100 million fixed, somewhere around there, because they signed the deal, of course, a few seasons ago before the treble and all that stuff came about. But this is a huge operation. And again, Puma are, really putting their foot forward, and this is going to be, cause a decision for Laporta to be made for sure here. And it's going to be a very interesting decision as well. So we'll wait and see how things turn out in this regard. But again, we are still waiting this decision. I think it will definitely come by the end of this month, whether Laporta will stick with Nike and negotiate to the death with them, or somehow try to terminate that contract with Nike and sign a new deal with Puma, maybe around the 25-26 season. Of course, next season, 24-25 season, 100% we're going to be with Nike. It's about the following season, but again, that decision needs to be made now. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is in regards to Barcelona's participation in some capacity in the FIFA Club World Cup in 2025. As we all know, people are going to, revolutionize the Club World Cup, have it like a tournament style, everyone competing, blah, blah, blah. With Barcelona, we were quite behind in the coefficients to qualify. We needed to, kind of do better than Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. But of course, now both teams are in the quarterfinals, and probably as I'm recording this video, we know the actual draw. I personally do not know it yet. The stream is going to be starting in about 2 hours time. I'm still pretty nervous for it, but hopefully our draw was good. Anyways, just to give you guys an update on Barcelona's route, so to speak, to the Club World Cup. We're still not there, of course, since Inter did lose to Atletico Madrid. So for Barcelona to get into the Club World Cup, to qualify, Barcelona would have to reach the semi-final, at least winning both games in the quarterfinals. And while doing that, Atletico Madrid losing both their quarterfinals games. And of course, if we do end up doing so, we have to at least draw one of the games in the semi-final. So we gotta win both quarterfinal games, don't lose at least one semi-final, and hope Atletico Madrid crash out losing both games as well. So it's still possible, but boy oh boy, is it going to be difficult, especially with the opponent that we're going to be getting. Again, I don't know the opponent. You guys are watching this video will know the opponent. Hopefully we did all right, but we'll wait and see in that regard. I think right now our Club World Cup participation is not very, very unlikely, but we'll put it unlikely for now. If Atletico Madrid lost to Inter, I think all we had to do is just win one quarterfinal game, and we would have been, sorted out. But again, we'll wait and see. There's still, a possibility, which I think is important. But again, the possibilities are slim. But at Barcelona, like we always had to say, 1% chance, 99% faith. So we'll wait and see how the club do in that regard. But again, getting to the Club World Cup is so important, not only for the trophy and trying to win a competition, but also the 50 million euro entry fee that you will be receiving as well. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want to see, of course, is on Lamine Yamal wearing the number 10 shirt next season. Would you approve of this idea or not? Secondly, your thoughts on the renewal of Araujo, Cubarsi, Roberto, even Pau Prim as well. Your thoughts on those, whether or not they will all renew, 3 of them will renew, 2 of them, 1 of them, or none of them. I'll tell you for free right now, it's not going to be none of them. 1 of them will definitely renew. Thirdly, your thoughts on the decision between Nike and Puma. What are you siding with right now? Would you kind of try your best to negotiate with Nike and stay with them, or would you just sack off Nike completely, break your contract with them, and sign with Puma? And finally, your thoughts on the injury update of Roberto and De Jong. Do you think they'll both end up being fit for the Clásico in April 21st? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca. Go!